They say manifest your dreams, and this has been in my closet for a while. I did not make it for myself because that would be weird. But I just like, I've kept it around, you know, who knows what's gonna happen. So welcome back to Cooking for Fun, New York Times edition, because this corn Parmesan pasta is on NewYorkTimesCooking.com. Okay, but since I'm not with New York Times, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it this style to show that I'm humble. But this recipe, I think the New York Times wanted to put on their website because I published it in 2024. It is a crowd favorite, and it's insanely easy. It's basically a corn broth that we blend with corn stock, and you put pasta, Parmesan, becomes creamy. If this recipe takes longer than 12 minutes on video, that's a problem. We'll see where we net out. So this obviously starts with our corn. So let's talk about corn while I kind of slice these off the cobs. Corn is a natural thickener. So that means this sauce starts thin, but it thickens as we let the corn blend and sit with it. It's also naturally sweet. If you're familiar with corn this type of year, it's really good raw, really good cooked, but really, really sweet. So the Parmesan in this recipe is really salty, plays off the corn, brings everything together, and it's really, really low on ingredients. Okay, that's how I prefer to slice kernels off the cob. Some people like to put them on a bowl, in a bowl, and slice it into a bowl. I like, it always ends up falling off the bowl for me, so I'm not gonna risk it. And if the age-old question, you wanna use frozen corn, absolutely feel free. This is 600 grams of corn total, and you want it to be raw. So frozen raw corn, perfect. As soon as we get into the territory of canned or pre-cooked, then I would say that corn is gonna thicken and act a little differently in this recipe. So just, you know, stick with frozen raw if you can. And I say rule of thumb, an ear of corn is about 150 grams of kernels. So if you don't want to pull out your scale, you want about 5 to 6 ears of corn. People will be mad. They're gonna be like, you're leaving so much sweetness here. You're like losing so much. We're gonna be using these, so no worries.
I'm already learning a lot about corn.
It's the best vegetable of the season, if it is a vegetable. Underappreciated because it's so affordable. I'm still getting used to this space. It's so big. I had to go all the way back there for my bench scraper. For you, hopefully you're getting used to the space. I hope you like it. So all of our corn kernels chopped up really quickly. These I'm just chopping in half. Let me see if I can break. Much better. Okay, these are gonna go in here. Justine, what are we gonna do with these? Why are they in a pot? Hold please, we'll get there. Everything is timed perfectly. The rest of our mise is just half of a yellow onion. The recipe says 4 garlic cloves. Our heart says 5 or 6. 7. We'll grate those. That's like equivalent to about a tablespoon, heaping tablespoon. And I talked about this in a YouTube video forever ago, but a lot of people don't like the grating method because you're left with chunks. But my whole thing is get your chunks, get your grated pieces, pull it all together, and chop it the same way you would roughly chop herbs. And soon that'll all come together to a paste. I was gonna give you like a big long reason about the reason you want this pasty, but you can absolutely just slice it, but put it in earlier with the corn because sliced garlic takes a little longer to cook. So super easy prep, took like only a few minutes on our end. Now this is absolutely not a necessary step. This is kind of what I call a use everything we possibly have to make everything as good as it can possibly be step. So we are gonna make a corn broth. If you saw Padma Lakshmi, she came to my neighborhood and met a guy who sells corn broth on the street. He is the inspiration for this video. Corn broth is a delicious thing that, again, adds a natural thickness to the water that we're going to use to make the corn sauce and the water we're going to boil our pasta in. So you're getting sweetness in the corn broth that you can boil your pasta in, so it's in a sweet and salty water. And then that water we're then going to scoop into the corn that's cooking, makes a sweeter, thicker corn sauce. Again, if this is just starchy pasta water, like you forget You have your corn cobs, you're using frozen corn. It's not a mandatory step, but it is a delicious, low waste, let's cook with everything we're using step. Let's grate up some Parmesan the quick and easy way so that we don't have to worry about that when everything is getting started. Beautiful. Now we're officially mazed. And it looks like our corn broth, corn stock is nearly at a simmer. So I'm gonna get this pot also heating up a little bit. This is on low heat. The original recipe had this all happening in a pan, but then I got this really adorable ratatouille pot, and now everything in my life has been happening in this pot. It can happen in whatever pot or pan you have. I do recommend having it be more of a pot because we're gonna use an immersion blender later on. It's good to be back. It's good to be telling you that I measure my fat on this channel. But whatever it takes to coat your pan, we're gonna say 1/4 cup. You quickly learn the hierarchy of cooking things, but almost always onion needs the longest. So onion in first, give that a little stir. The corn here is gonna need about 9 minutes to fully soften, 9 to 10. You don't want the corn to get any color. So we're cooking this on medium heat. If you see anything start to take on a little color, lower it to medium low. It'll take longer. It'll look better. That has 10 minutes, that has 10 minutes. If this video is longer than 12 minutes, we'll see. So after 10 minutes, you're gonna see like a hint of gold forming at the bottom of the pan. A little bit of fond, that's totally fine. We just don't want it to go any further. Our garlic is gonna go in. Give that about a minute. And then these corn cobs have been leached of all their flavor. They're done, they're used. Waste not, want not. We have gotten everything we need out of them. So to stop the corn from getting any more color, 1 cup, or if you have a ladle that is equal to 1 cup, same thing, but we're gonna put in 3 cups of corn stock, broth, water, corn juice. And the pasta that you choose, the shape doesn't really matter, but I do formally request that it be long and noodly. So like a linguine, a bucatini. What are the spirally ones? There's like long noodly spirally ones that are very fun to eat. A little hard to handle, but whatever. Those really grip the sauce nicely in a way that's really satisfying. I won't be mad, just it'll be a different eating experience. Pasta, as much as we don't want to say it, the type of pasta really does dictate the eating experience. The swirling, the enjoying. So we're using these. They have a tiny, tiny hole in the center, but they're not bucatini. They might not have a tiny hole in the center. Doesn't matter. And once that's at a boil, a whole pound of pasta. With the pasta in, it's time to blend the sauce, and you have options here. We have an immersion blender, which, similar to my food processor, I cook professionally. My blending tool's not the most powerful. So I will use an immersion blender in this pot, but you do have to tilt it so that you have enough corn there to blend. So we'll get that started and you'll see what I mean. You need it submerged to make sure no corn splatters on you. So that'll get the job pretty much done. It'll still have some corn consistency, but that'll still cling to the pasta. It'll emulsify with the Parmesan. It'll be really nice. And the reason I wrote the recipe with an immersion blender is because when you blend hot things in a blender, ooh, new cabinets with soft close technology. Ooh. But with our blender, when you put hot things in this, close this and blend it, pressure builds, it explodes. You've probably seen it on social media. And every time I see it, I feel really, really bad for the people involved. So that's why I wrote it with an immersion blender. However, it was a shallow amount of corn, not always the most ideal blend. You get like little corn things caught up if you don't have the most powerful immersion blender. So I learned this really great tip, and we've updated the recipe on New York Times Cooking to reflect it, in case you have different tools. But you can scoop the sauce or the makings of your sauce into a blender. Now, you all might know this trick, but you have to pretend to act surprised because I'm really excited about it. This was new to me. Towel on top, no splash, but also no pressure. And let's do a puree. I always forget how powerful this thing is. But yeah, corn sauce, no explosions. Now the sauce is a beautiful light yellow. It's everything you want it to be. It's like thick and it's gonna get a little thicker, so we'll loosen it up with pasta water. Flavor-wise, it's gonna be almost oppressively sweet at this point. So you can add a little bit of salt, but we're gonna add Parmesan, and after that is when you really wanna season. Another thing that will break up this sweetness is a good amount of black pepper. Think of it as kind of like a cacio e pepe level. That's my timer telling me my pasta's done, so we need to work quickly. So in working quickly, we're gonna add the Parmesan, like 4 rounds. And this is just so that the Parmesan like smoothly gets in. The corn sauce already has some texture, so you don't want like the Parmesan chunks to be adding texture. You want everything to look beautiful and even. And also, before I was so rudely interrupted by my timer, if you like a little spice, like a little kick, some red pepper flakes play really well with the corn as well. I'm just trying to resist adding red pepper flakes to literally everything because I realize not all of you have as spicy of a palate as me, and I'm working on it. I'm adapting, I'm changing, I'm growing, and I'm making my own food spicy. Oh yeah, huge change. Huge change. Still needs salt. Again, salt balances sweet, and salt also balances acid. So feel free to load it up. And if you want to go crazy, add more cheese. It's your dinner, so your cheese preference. So our pasta is done. So we'll just scoop this into the pot. There will be straggling pasta water, and we like that. It's a lot of sauce, but it's also a lot of pasta. And keep in mind, the sauce will thicken, it will grip. It'll do all the things you want a pasta sauce to do as it sits. Okay, the last bits. Also, fun thing that you cannot do with this pasta water because it's got corn in it, but I've been saving my pasta water to make martinis. So instead of the pickle brine, use pasta water. What was that face?
What?
No, it's really good.
Whoa.
So you'll see we have a lot of sauce around the edges. It's a very wet pasta right now. As it cools down, because I'm assuming you're not eating it like boiling hot, it's gonna thicken, it's gonna grip in, if that is a word, but it's gonna do all the things we want pasta to do. All right, we have the thickening that we love. If it goes a touch too far, that's why we leave this on the stove. 2 tablespoons, like maybe 3, throw that in there. All right, to plate. I have a very specific pasta plating strategy. I think it comes out beautiful every time, and it's really low stress on you. And this is only if you have it's like date night and you're really doing it, you know? If it's just a party, let people fend for themselves. But the method is tongs, take a big clump, put it into a ladle, swirl it in the ladle. We have swirl number 1. And then to the plate, drop the swirl. Okay. Now.
Wow.
Some might say that's a portion size. I disagree. So we're going to do one more swirl. Lastly, you could top with more Parmesan. I probably am going to. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, more Parmesan and more pepper. Sorry. I really had to think about that. I was talking to a friend and she does desserts for a living, and she said powdered sugar is like the secret beauty ingredient of desserts. I think Parmesan is the secret beauty ingredient of like anything savory. And then black pepper, and we're done. I know I made it. I birthed it, but I'm always surprised at how pretty it looks. And we still have a ton of pasta left. This serves, I'd say, like realistically, 6 people with 2 scoops. So tons of pasta. A great way to serve it is with grilled swordfish, delicious in the summer. Grilled chicken, not my speed, but also like a good protein to have. If you want to freshen it up, basil. If you want to spice it up, peppers or red pepper flakes in with the corn. Otherwise, you just have like a lot of options with this pasta, and it's a great way for when you're coming home in the summer from the farmer's market with like 6 ears of corn and you know you need to use them. Because I know you're probably doing that. That was the hugest bite I ever took, but damn, wow. You guys have to get in here. This is so good. Once again,
The rock.